Hey everybody, Ron from Back in the Fairway here, and today I'm bringing you kind of an equipment review update. So, as some of you may know, I reviewed the Bridgestone Tour B XS series balls. I want to say it was a couple of months ago now when they first hit the market, and I was able to get a little trial sleeve of them. And I didn't have the best of impressions, I'll be honest with you. It was a great performing ball, but the durability of the ball really came into question for me, especially on wedges and some of the higher spin shots. I seem to have been grinding the covers a little bit. So, at the urging of virtually the entire planet out there that saw that video, I went ahead and I wanted to do a full ball test of the Tour B RX, or RXS. No, sorry. Let me correct that. Tour B XS. There we go. So the higher swing speed, higher spin model. And what I did is I plopped one ball down and I played with it for 18 holes, regardless of how beat up or how disgusting it was going to get. That was the plan. So I picked up this little guy right here. And as you can see, that is the ball after 18 holes. There is not one nick, scuff, or anything on it. So all of a sudden, it does start to look like maybe by chance it was just a bum cover on that Tour X that I had earlier in the year. So point taken, point proven, and now here are my thoughts on this ball in particular versus the Tour X, or the Tour B X, I guess is the way to say it. So let me start off with the first reason why I would consider Bridgestone versus the Titleist AVX that I'm using now. When I did my initial testing on the X, I was gaining about 15 yards on my drives and pretty darn close to that on irons. And that was carry distance because of how wet the courses were at that time. When you think about the fact of gaining a club off of your drive, so let's say you're doing a 400-yard par 4 and you hit the ball 270, that leaves you 130 in, so it's a solid, gap wedge to pitching wedge for me right now. And then all of a sudden I add 15 yards to that, so now I'm 285, I'm 115, that drops me to the gap to sand wedge area. Well, imagine adding the extra 15 yards to that now, or maybe closer to 10 on those shorter irons. All of a sudden that sand wedge becomes a 100-yard in club, and everything is dead solid perfect. So when you start looking at numbers like that, going from a possible pitching wedge to a solid sand wedge, so for me, 46 degrees to 56 degrees difference there, that's pretty huge on approach angles and things like that. And then you add to the fact that the ball's actually a little more, I'm going to use the word spinnier, if that's appropriate. If the ball's a little more spinnier, you're going to get more stopping power on the green as well. So when it firms up during the summer, not only are you going to get the extra roll, extra distance, but you're actually going to have more stopping ability on that green, which really makes a huge difference in, trying to score when you're landing it close to the flag. Again, that's exactly what this ball did. So as you start to look at things that need stopping power or things like that, the AVX is a great ball for me, ball flight wise. It stays low. It doesn't overspin, so it doesn't jerk back off the green. It really, really plays overall very well for me. The issue that comes into play though is how much am I costing myself distance wise? And that's the part where continuously looking at it going, okay, so if you're trying to get the most out of your equipment, spin, distance, control, everything, you kind of got to weigh factors against each other and decide which one is going to be the best move overall. Now the BXS is the tiger ball is what they called it originally, because this is the one that he kind of, I don't want to say helped design, but basically helped design. And you can definitely tell by the characteristics that it's designed to be flighted in multiple ways. You can tell that the spin is designed to just go wacko bonkers, and the kind of the one-stop and hop stop shot. So it kind of comes in, hits, checks, and then comes back to where it hit originally. That's what I was seeing with it. And for the most part, I am really happy with that, because if I fly that wedge 105 now or 110, it's going to be 110 on the nose, so I don't have to worry about it hitting and rolling out, or worse yet, hitting and coming back off the front. Because on those exact yardage shots, that's the biggest issue that most people have, is they'll fly at 105 to that flag and then it'll rip right back off the green. And that's what I was having issues with, which is what led me to the AVX to start with, was the low spin didn't come ripping back off the green. It pretty much just hit and stopped. So as we look at the ball itself, the dimple pattern is extremely cool on this guy. I wish I could get in here and just really highlight the dimple pattern for you. But it's a combination of large and small with a kind of almost a straight hexagon pattern to it. And it reminds me a little bit of Callaway back in the day made a hex ball, which had different sized hexagons all over it. And it's really close to that, but not exactly. But it looks very reminiscent of that one. And that ball always played really, really well for me. The pole is marked with the Tour B XS logo. So a nice little alignment strip there if you choose to use those. So when you line up putting, that is definitely there for you. And then, of course, the blue number 4 for the XS series. The Tour BX has a black number. The RXS is the lower swing speed version of this ball. It has a red number. And then the RX is the green one, which would have the green number on it. That's for the lower swing speed distance ball, basically. So overall, I couldn't be much happier with how this ball performed. Distance-wise, like I said, it was pretty much spot on with the Tour X. That one, what was I getting? About 110 yards on my sand wedge. Great spin, good control. A little higher flight pattern than what I was looking for out of the ball. But again, getting that extra distance, you know, that's one of those things where I can always club down a club in the wind and keep it below that. But overall, yeah, very, very impressed. Thank you all for pushing me to get another one of these out there to try out. It was rather huge to get that done. Again, I mean, this ball almost looks like it just came out of the sleeve. There's very, very little marking on it. So the cover is in absolutely pristine condition, again, after 18 holes. And that was wedges, drivers, long irons, everything that you could throw at it. And it performed absolutely brilliantly. I don't think I can recommend the balls enough. So regardless of where you're looking, if you're looking for a high spin ball and you're a slower swing player, the Tour RXS is definitely the way to go. If you're looking for just more of a straight distance ball in the slower swing, the RX is your ball. For higher swing players, I think they break it down at 105 miles an hour with the driver. And that's important to note. It's not 105 miles an hour per club. They use your driver speed as kind of the measure. So if you go over 105, so that would be roughly put about a 250 yard drive carry, not rollout. A lot of people use their rollout numbers to kind of determine how fast they swing. Rollout will vary so heavily during the summer. If you go out during the winter and it's dry, that's great. But if you go out anywhere where it's moist or damp, you're going to see 20 to 30 yards of roll come off of that driver. That's important to know. So 105 and up, the Tour BX and the Tour BRX or Tour BXS are your choices. The XS is the higher spin model. The X is the lower spin model. I'm not sure personally if I see enough difference between the two. I think I will go with the XS personally, just because I like the extra spin. Which is funny because it's a complete opposite of the AVX that I've been using, which is the low spin ball. So, to round this out, Tour ball, premium model, great ball. I am very, very, very happy that everybody talked me into retesting this a little bit and getting it out there, because this cover is absolutely flawless now. I mean, I can't even find a scuff mark or anything to show you. And, oh, I found one little paint mark there. I don't even know if it'll show up though. But, I mean, after 18 holes, if the worst you have is a little paint scuff on there, I'll take that all day long. Anyway, about $50 a dozen. You can find deals on them online. I'll post what I can down below and try to get you the best deals we can on these. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below. I'm going to do my best to keep rolling into summer with doing more and more of these videos. If you have anything you'd like to know, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, leave it in the comments down below this video. Hopefully I'll have more in the Going Pro series coming soon. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.